kids and parents for coming out on behalf of Bobby and also for yourselves. There's a lot of strength in this room. And there's a lot of love. And there's a lot of hurt. But you guys can work together. You guys can get along. You guys can help one another, uplift one another, get rid of each other's pain. You don't know you have the power to do that.
That's right, that's right.
You're strong, you're young. Your mind is still absorbing everything. Feed it the right things so that this will never happen again. You guys have your whole future ahead of you. You can be whatever you want to be. Just make sure, put it in your mind like, look, I deserve this life. I deserve a good life. We all do. My son deserves a good life. And I just pray that you guys learn from this and stop this bullying and help each other. Because if one does and another, like she said, 4 boys, even 5 people could have broken that up.
That's right.
And I know you guys are scared. That's why you have to know that you have it inside of you. Just pull on that strength from God. Believe me, He is going to follow through. He's going to see you through. He will not leave you alone. I'm telling you, just love each other. Consider each other. Think of each other's feelings. Think of each other's lives. And you guys will be okay. You will, and life will be good. And you will get what is promised to you. And that's God. He said that. You have the promise of a good life. All you have to do is live right. Bobby would tell me, Mom, there's nothing wrong with living right. There's nothing wrong with doing right. And it's not. It's cool to do right. Because that's when you succeed. Thank everyone for being here, and these young people have touched me so much. And I just applaud you guys for having the courage to get up and say what was on your mind and what's in your hearts, because that's the only way we'll know to help is if we know what's on your mind. And we need to listen as parents and adults. We do. We need to listen to you guys because we are helping you to build your future. So I just thank you guys, and thank you for loving my son.
BJ Speak signing in here. I want to thank you all for watching this video, for taking part in this discussion. It's a very moving and touching night for me tonight. Just came from the Bobby Tillman Community Forum that was specifically geared towards youth, wanting to hear their voice and things that they have to say out in Lithia Springs. And I must say that the one thing that I heard consistently amongst these kids is that they kept involving God into their dialogue. They kept involving prayer, getting back into the church, allowing the church to be a door open for them. Now, for those of you that don't know what happened specifically, a young guy by the name of Bobby Tillman was jumped on and murdered by 4 kids out in Lithia Springs, Georgia, Douglasville, Georgia. Just a very touching situation. Very good kid. And now the fact that not only have we lost one child, we lost 5, a total of 5. Something that deeply bothers me as a youth advocate. This is not only some would say a civil rights issue. It's an epidemic. And I know that you're tired of hearing the panel discussions after panel discussions, going to the community of forums to talk about this particular issue. And this is not just happening here. This is happening all over the world. Very sad situation. But the fact that a child is murdered because of the fact that an innocent child not doing anything, very sad. And I really applaud his mother for standing up tonight to be able to discuss what's taking place and just her outlook and just her being positive and wanting to encourage, other kids to want to do better and excel in life and understand that there's more to life than just being violent. You know, these kids sound smarter than what most adults do. Tonight, I witnessed that. And being an advocate, this is something that I hear all the time. And this is very touching and dear to my heart because I too was very disappointed and very saddened at the numerous forums and panel discussions that were taking place, but no action was behind that, which is why I decided to write a series of books for kids centered around education and not going down the wrong path. So when you see this shirt, it's not just about choosing education and going to school. It's about doing the right thing in life, which is a struggle for not only for young adults, but for adults as well. And I heard tonight these kids going over and talking about they want, more support from their parents. They want to hear more and engage more with their parents. And parents, I challenge you, know what's going on in your child's life. Understand that when a child tells you that they want to go somewhere, be involved. Understand that, their Facebook and their anything that they're involved in social media wise, you need to be involved in as a parent too. Now, am I a parent? No, I inspire to, but I'm telling you what the kids are saying. And this is something that we as a community, we don't do a good job of. We don't listen to the source that is being directly affected. I understand that parents or educators, can get up on a panel and discuss what's going on, but if you ain't talking to the source or hearing from the source, you can't just degrade them in a certain way. Now, we're faced with dropout rates, illiteracy, teenage pregnancy. There's so many different problems that we're facing within our community. For example, this is like a famous quote, sort of to say. These things that I'm about to say, they're sort of like famous quotes because it's become a part of the norm, which are 70% of African American women who have kids are single parent moms. 50% of males, African American males, are incarcerated. 1.4% of males, African American males, are teachers. Only 1.4%. So if you're not seeing it at the home, you're not seeing a positive figure at the school, like what else do you have to turn to? And I know it's a struggle for mothers as well. So which means that we got to back in to get back to the root of that situation. And that's a whole nother story. But the problem is we do have a serious problem, and there is an epidemic within our communities. Seeing these kids speak on certain issues tonight and just how they truly feel, very touching. What are you doing for your community? Are you standing up? Are you stepping up to the plate to say that I want to bring about change? I want to implement some solutions. These kids just want to be held. They want to be loved. And tonight, all the way from the age of 7 to the age of 21, we're speaking up on just how they feel. Kids that really don't understand what's really taking place, they just don't want to see any violence. And as I mentioned earlier, this has happened all over the world and the United States. This is not just a problem in Atlanta, Georgia. This is a major, major epidemic. And I encourage you to get more involved into your community. This is a very touching situation, very hard for me to deal with. Understanding that a child is now going home to be with the Lord. 4 others are incarcerated and taken out of, not just out of context, but taken out of society, taken out of their parents' lives, taken out of their family, their friends. Do I feel as if they had the intent to kill poor Bobby Tillman? No, I don't. But the fact of the matter is that it happened. And we got to pray for all families involved. And that's the only thing that's going to get us through this is prayer. And as I mentioned earlier, I was so surprised to hear that so many kids talked about opening up the doors to the church. Church, open up your doors. Let me come in. Don't discriminate just because of the fact that I have tattoos or I'm gay. Think numerous issues. The church home is supposed to be a place for us to go in fellowship. And these kids are speaking out on this. Very touching. So as I bring this to a close, I just really wanted to take the time to speak to you, to let you know of what's going on within our communities, to talk about it. We can continue to talk, but if we're not bringing about any solutions, there's a real problem. I pray for the family of Bobby Tillman. I pray for the family of the 4 other victims that are involved. I wasn't there. I don't know what took place. They said that others were involved. These kids were taken on a bus, 57 of them, down to the sheriff's office in question. All you can do in this situation is pray. That's it. And I'm glad to see that these kids are truly understanding that. With that being said, I ask you to continue to support me in my efforts. You can follow me on Twitter at BJ Speaks. You can follow me on Facebook. My fan page is BJ Speaks. And just continue to, if you have any questions, you can email me at Brian, BRIAN, at bjspeaks.com. If you have any questions for me, feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to me and ask me, because I'm going to be on the ground and I'm going to support these kids. And am I the Messiah? No, I'm not. What I've done is I've decided to devote my life to being a voice, being an ear. Because just because we're an adult doesn't mean that we can always be the voice. We got to be the ear to listen to these kids too as well. And that's what I want to do, because it's such an epidemic within our communities. And I encourage you to do the same. Be blessed. Have a great week. And I look forward to bringing about more awareness for you within our communities and the many problems that our youth face. Keep the faith alive.